This is the brand new Canyon Ultimate WMN, released earlier in 2017. It's now available on the market. Now the bike has been developed in conjunction with the canyon-sram team. You can tell by the canyon-sram colours that are emblazoned all over the frame. And it's a carbon frame bike designed very much for racing. Now, although Canyon did have a WMN or women's specific version of the Ultimate before, this year they've updated it with brand new women's specific geometry. The previous version of the bike had a unisex frame which it shared with the men's or unisex version of the bike with women's specific finishing kit. This one has brand new geometry throughout the range, and if you want to know a bit more about that, click on the link to find out more about the geometry of the new bike. As soon as you sit on the bike, you can tell that this is a bike aimed more towards the racing end of things, as you'd expect from a bike that's ridden by one of the pro women's teams. The position it puts you in is very aggressive, allowing you to tuck right in and drive power through your legs. That's something to bear in mind if you are looking for a new bike. Because of the position it puts you in, it's great for going fast and shorter distances, but over a longer period of time you might find that position uncomfortable and perhaps a little bit stressful on your lower back. One of the first things you notice when you start pedaling on this bike is the efficiency. The transmission feels so direct. That forward momentum comes quickly and easily. The acceleration is fast and rapid. Comfort isn't entirely sacrificed for stiffness and speed, however. There is a deal of compliance in the frame and also in the seat post, seen more in some of the higher level models of this bike, that do take the edge off the road. So rather than hitting every bump, once you've got a lick of speed behind you, you feel like you're kind of floating over the surface, and boy does it feel fast when you really put it down. Those DT Swiss PR 1600 wheels are fitted with 25 width tyres, but there is enough clearance on there if you wanted to go a bit fatter, maybe up to a 28 for a bit more comfort, although I found the 25s plenty comfortable for the riding I've been doing. You've probably noticed that this Ultimate comes with disc brakes, and Canyon are certain that hydraulic disc brakes are the future for road cycling, to the extent that there is no rim brake version of the new Ultimate WMN. Now, this might be a consideration for some of you who are considering this bike, for whom your national federation currently doesn't allow disc brakes for road racing. However, for the rest of you, don't let it put you off. I've really enjoyed having that extra stopping power, particularly in the wet. And I also found the braking action of the levers on the SRAM system to have a nice light movement to them, so braking or holding a brake for a longer period of time on descents was easy on the hands and comfortable to do. Another great update for this year is the bolt-through axles. The advantage of this is it's really secure. They're easy to take on and off, and I've particularly noticed the improvement in feel you get whilst braking with bolt through. It's a much firmer, much more controlled, stiffer feeling. And of course, it just looks a lot neater. Talking of looks, the whole package looks really sleek and neat, with internal cable routing, and the seat clamp is nicely integrated into the seat tube. Perhaps unusually for a bike aimed more towards racing, the cassette at the back is an 11 to 32 tooth. I found this gave me a great range, particularly for climbing, where those extra few teeth just make it a little bit easier than a cassette that you often find on a race bike like a 25 or a 28 tooth. This particular model sits about mid-range. You can go right to the top of the range, which comes in at about £5,500, which has a beautiful integrated one-piece stem and handlebars. You can also get models lower down in the price range at about £1,500 to £2,000 as well. So there's a wide range of prices on offer if you are after a bike like this. Although of course this is a mid-range bike, it does come with a top spec carbon frame and SRAM Force gearing, so not bad for the price. Overall, if you're looking for a bike that's racy, that gives you a good turn of speed and feels aggressive when you're riding it, but is still versatile enough to help you get up those hills, then the Canyon Ultimate is certainly one to consider. One last thing to bear in mind is the sizing. Now, as a 5'8.5" rider, I would normally go for a 54cm or medium frame size. In Canyon, I ride a small. So if you're considering a Canyon, make sure you go through their online sizing process. Don't just assume that the frame size is going to be the same as any other brands you've ridden. Make sure that you get it right.